I want to invite up to the stage some important partners of ours, Tim Lywicki from the Oakview Group, George Kliavkoff from MGM Resorts, and Pat Christensen from Las Vegas Events. Joining me up here with our very own Ted Robinson, who's going to moderate this conversation. Oops. Okay. And before we sit, let me tell you what we're up here to discuss. Today, the Pac-12 Conference, in conjunction with the Oakview Group, Las Vegas Events, MGM, with support from Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Association, is pleased to be announcing a challenge series, a Pac-12 challenge, starting in December 2020, which is going to feature 3 Pac-12 teams every year, facing off against 3 teams from a rival conference. The inaugural event will be held at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, where Washington in the first year will be playing against Oklahoma, Colorado will be playing against TCU, and Oregon will be playing against a to-be-determined Big 12 team. So this is a Pac-12, Big 12 matchup in year 1. The series will rotate amongst multiple cities. So the Pac-12, Big 12 matchup will also take place then in 2021 in Dallas. The series will then feature 3 other Pac-12 teams in 2021 in Las Vegas against a different conference, and the next year go to a neutral site in that rival conference to play against those. This is a 5-year arrangement. It's very innovative, unique. It's an interesting twist for our conference on this challenge concept. We're going to be able to rotate through different conferences across the country where the Pac-12 plays against different big-time conferences, toggling between the event in Las Vegas, which will take place every year, and then the return in another part of the country. So really appreciate all the effort that's gone into putting this together. Las Vegas has truly become an exciting home for the Pac-12, for our basketball championship, our football championship, and now this special challenge event, as well as leveraging Oakview Group's resources. We're going to be able to play in some of the other great arenas around the country, playing against other top-notch conferences. So thank you, gentlemen. Ted, appreciate you being here and lead us through a discussion.
Well, good morning, everybody. And Larry, as I'm listening to you talk and we're looking up at the 12, the 12 institutions that are represented up on the board. You know, every institution, sitting here, they think on commencement day they give out honorary degrees, right? And I feel like there's an honorary membership in store here for Vegas, isn't there? I mean, this has become such an integral part of Pac-12 sports and of all college sports. So, George, this thing started some years back when the Pac-12 was the first of the major conferences to say, we're going to take our basketball tournament and move it to Vegas. Could you have dreamt that it would be this kind of a run?
Well, we've had a terrific run with the Pac-12. We were pleased earlier this year to announce moving the football championships to Vegas in partnership with the Raiders and LVCVA and LVE. And we look forward to doing much more with the Pac-12. Vegas is really becoming the sports capital of the world, and we're leading in our partnership.
Yeah. How much more do you think?
I think there's a lot more to come. I think we have, professional football, professional basketball with the Aces. We have obviously hockey with the Golden Knights. We have the Aviators in baseball. We're doing a lot with college. One of the interesting things that's happening in Vegas is the new NCAA rules opened up the opportunity to bid for the first time on NCAA championships, and the city intends to bid and win a lot of championships and bring more NCAA events to the city.
There you go. And that, Pat, that leads into you, because that's something the weekend before the NCAA tournament begins is when, of course, everybody with the Pac-12 is there. I've heard legendary stories about what it's like in Las Vegas the first weekend of the tournament. It's an incredible magnet for college basketball fans.
You know, it really is. And we will not be bidding on any first round basketball championships because it already is there. We'll be bidding on the regional. But, I look back on when when we first approached the Pac-12 about our partnership. And to me, it was a natural. I wasn't really that concerned about it because there were two great brands. One, the Pac-12 brand, and Las Vegas. And what we had heard continuously was the most important thing to the Pac-12 was the experience for the athletes and the experience for the fans. And again, you look at the evolution of this MGM Grand Garden, which was kind of more of an intimate, but sold out there, graduated to the T-Mobile. But from both a fan perspective and a athlete perspective, the convenience of T-Mobile and the properties around it pretty epitomizes what Vegas can do for championship events. And I think that's why we're excited about the NCAA opportunity and the things that we've done with the Pac-12, our alliance with the Las Vegas Bowl, as well as the Pac-12 basketball championships, I think are just a precursor to things to come.
Right. And as the announcement Larry just made indicates, it isn't just postseason basketball. Now it's regular season basketball. And Tim, that leads into this challenge and the attempt. It sounds very much like a well-intentioned effort to get higher level competition in the regular season, that college basketball isn't just about March.
I want to hear some of the legendary stories from the first weekend. We passed right over that. So I've had the good fortune of knowing Larry and being part of the Pac-12 family for a long time. I think these brands, these teams, and their program are continuing to emerge as powerhouses within college basketball. So the ability to go find world-class arenas, and we have 28 of them in our alliance. We've known George and the MGM folks forever. We were part of helping create the vision when T-Mobile was created, and we worked with Pat forever. I actually was running AG at the time when Larry said, maybe we need to move this tournament to Vegas, and it was one of the few times where in losing an event, we said it's absolutely the right thing to do. I think this takes a early season concept, takes world-class markets that the fans and the athletes want to travel to and experience, takes world-class arenas that want to partner with MGM and Pac-12, and it gives the ability of the Pac-12 brands world-class competition with some of the other conferences. And so we all 28 of our arenas wanted to participate in this. There's not enough teams unless Larry expands to the Pac-40. We got to be patient as to how we roll this out. But I think the partnership on point of destination Las Vegas and then adding buildings like the American Airlines in Dallas and expanding eventually to New York, where we may or may not have an arena up and operating by the time Larry needs an arena in New York. I think those are exciting places for the fans to travel to, exciting places for the players to experience, and a great partnership to expand the brand and the competition level for the Pac-12 and the various conferences that they'll play against.
And so Larry, is that what Tim just talked about? Is that part of this move here is to have better regular season scheduling, the 20-game conference schedule being part of that?
Yes, it is. I think we've had a three-pronged approach to improving our schedule and putting our programs in the best position possible to get in the NCAA tournament. So it's included the 20-game schedule, so more intra-conference play. The second is raising our standards for out-of-conference play to kind of keep the overall rating of our programs up. And the third is working with partners to create high-profile, big-stage opportunities against some of the biggest brands and the most successful programs around the country that are playing postseason, where we have a chance to go head-to-head on big stages in front of big national audiences to showcase what we do. So today's announcement is really the culmination of a lot of work that our team and Jamie Zininovich from my staff has done with our athletics directors, with our coaches to try to develop a strategy to really elevate Pac-12 and work closely with our programs to do so. So this is exciting. No other conference has really done something like this. I think it's a creative approach. What I love about it is it'll stay fresh. Every year we're playing against a new conference, different teams cycling through. Las Vegas is our anchor, but we'll be playing in some of the other world-class venues around the country, giving us that geographic exposure. And I think it's just a great solution for the Pac-12.
Yeah. George, how many other conferences now call you on a fairly regular basis? Say, can you fit us in?
We hear from a lot of them. We look forward to getting some of the conferences from the East Coast and the center of the country coming to play in this Coast-to-Coast Challenge. I think one of the unique things about it is Las Vegas is a great destination in the middle of the winter for someone to come from a colder destination. We think we're going to see a lot of fans coming to support their teams against the Pac-12, certainly direct flights from every Pac-12 city, so we love that. And then the other thing is Vegas has 42 to 43 million visitors every year. So every week we have 800,000 people that we can convert into Pac-12 basketball fans. We look forward to that.
Regular season, do you expect to see that continue to grow in the things like Tim's Challenge?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, Pat, you're a hockey town now, right?
Yes, we are.
Arizona State plays hockey.
Yes.
Right? Tim is involved in this little small hockey venture in Seattle. What do you think? The Pac-12 Hockey Championships 2028, let's say in Vegas. Larry, what do you think?
Arizona State's led the way and had amazing success so far. So never say never, but hockey's growing big time on the West Coast, isn't
Yeah,
it?
bring it on.
And so, Pat, how many people have asked you this week where you're going to build your baseball stadium?
Fortunately, I'm not in that world, but I think we're just really proud of the fact that we have the hockey and we have the NHL and the NFL now in Las Vegas. We've come a long way. The next step, who knows?
Yeah. So, Tim, with your expertise in venues, and when you see what T-Mobile Arena is and is existing, and now you see the football stadium that's almost finished. I haven't seen it since the spring, but almost finished. Give us your view from your experience of the venues that this is going to take place in Vegas.
So, well, look, Vegas is unbelievably unique in that you have those 43 million people. So if you're thinking of this particular tournament that we're creating here in mid to right before the holidays in December, and you start thinking about folks from Seattle or Denver or other parts of the country that get to go travel into Vegas, probably not a hard thing for us to convince them. What a great way to go spend a weekend and participate. But if you also take into consideration T-Mobile's world class, it's what did you say? It was the highest grossing arena?
Last year it was the highest grossing arena in the world.
So that's a pretty strong compliment to a brand new arena. I think the Raiders Stadium is going to act more like an event center than it is a stadium. So I think you're going to see 100 events there every year. Mm-hmm. Vegas is unique. You have those hotel rooms, you have the nightlife, you have all of the different things that attract people. But you also have that transportation hub and the flights that connect everyone in the country to that particular location. I think we kind of look at it, and Dan Schell and our group, where we're building arenas in various college markets, for example, University of Texas and Austin. We also wanted to be in the content business, and uniquely, the first place we wanted to be in the content business was with Pac-12 and Vegas. We've seen how well the tournaments have gone. I think an early season opportunity like this, especially in mid-December, in an arena like T-Mobile, will do extremely well. And so we're proud to be a part of it, and we couldn't be more excited because I think Vegas has some of the greatest venues in all of the country. I wish I owned one of them.
Yeah. So when you say content, Tim, you mean event content?
Events,
right?
yep.
Could you see a day when there's a major college event every weekend during the college season in Las Vegas?
Kind of hard to compete with all the other stuff going on in Vegas.
Yeah.
We really like this idea. I think the timing's perfect. I don't think there's an oversaturation. Right. I think, by the way, Pac-12 is the perfect conference to do this with because of their influence on the western part of the United States. I wouldn't want to be doing this every weekend, but at the end of the day, I think this is a really good first step to expanding it. And look, let us add, there are other markets that really want this. So one of the hard parts that Dan and our organization had to do with Larry and his team is we had far more requests for arenas that wanted to participate in this. And Larry has a very patient view of let's do it right, let's roll it out, and then eventually expand it. So as much as I think Vegas is the perfect anchor, what you're going to see is some of our other world-class venues now want to jump in and participate in this because there's such a demand for these games.
George smiled, by the way, when I asked you that question. I saw that, George.
We're fortunate. MGM Resorts has 3 arenas, and Pac-12 has played at all of them: Mandalay Bay Event Center and the Grand Garden Arena, and also T-Mobile Arena. And as the commissioner knows, we have 12 hotels at every price point. So it creates this great opportunity for people who want to come and see their teams play to choose the package that they want to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm. And so, Larry, maybe a good way to wrap this up in a bow. The history of this conference basketball tournament was a little bit uneven, including an absence for a while. Various scenarios didn't quite fly the way you'd like. Could you have dreamt this when you made this decision some years back, that this would be the start of what we're now talking about today in Las Vegas?
No, I don't think anyone could have envisioned the growth and the trajectory. I mean, we had gotten a lot of feedback from our fans soon after I started. We were at Staples Center. I remember having long conversations with Tim, and we were ready for a change. Our fans were ready for a change, and we had some experience playing football in Las Vegas, but not basketball. So it was a leap of faith. But we had great partners. Our fans, had expressed an interest. But right from the first year, we saw that it resonated. Fans were turning up, and then the buzz and the excitement, the word of mouth that built on it. It was a bit like a hockey stick in terms of the growth and the excitement. I said the other thing we could not have anticipated was T-Mobile Arena. We only envisioned Grand Garden, and when T-Mobile came up, I remember we had long discussions about that, and do we want to move from the intimate, sold out, but we, again, took another leap of faith, and now we're selling out T-Mobile Arena. It's been a great success, and times have changed, and it's opened up, and now we're going to be able to add more events. So I think it's really, to me, it's a great reinforcer of the importance of great partnerships, listening to your fans, what they want, great collaboration with our universities, our coaches, and being prepared to take some risks, without any guarantee that it's going to work out. But this happens to be a great example of where it worked out. And of course, at that time, who could have envisioned pro football coming to Las Vegas as well? So I think we went with our gut, tried to respond to our fans, and put ourselves in a position where we're an early mover, a first mover, have wound up with great partners, and now we're at the forefront of creating very special events for our programs, our student athletes, and our fans.
All right, I think that's a wonderful take on these new announcements and this continued basketball future in Las Vegas for the conference. And I'm going to let Jesse step up here and take things over